We are here. We have our special guest. You almost didn't make it.
I almost didn't make it. Parking, LA parking. I had to back into a teeny spot, and little Tracee's heart got squished.
But you did it.
I did it.
You did it.
It was an
Tracee Ellis
exercise
Ross.
in serenity.
Yeah.
Tracee.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Tracee Ellis Ross is here. When did you get your driver's license? How long have you been driving?
Oh, I've been driving for a long time, and I'm actually a very good driver. But there's certain things that that make me panic.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because isn't that such an exercise in serenity? Yes, where you're I'm panicked, but I still have to show up anyway.
Right.
So how do you be with that and keep moving?
Parking can do it too. Parking's really in those moments when you can't get in the parallel parking situation.
And I'm a really good parallel parker.
Are you?
I think it was a combination of I was late, which really bothers me, but I couldn't find the gate to turn into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a tricky
And then
one.
there's traffic on Sunset, so in order to go around and get back to the gate.
Right.
And then I was okay, I'm getting later. And then I got in the gate and he came down and he was go that way. So I parked in a spot and I was cool, I'm good. And then they were you gotta back up, and that in and of itself, backing up, tight
I'm not
spaces.
a backer-upper.
Right.
And then there was a teeny spot to get into, and the only way to get into it was to back into the spot.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I started to get a little tight in the belly.
How old were you when you got your driver's license?
I think I was 16.
16.
Yeah.
Did you practice before? Did you steal your parents' car when you were 12?
No,
you weren't interested.
No, I mean, we had the family car. It was a Honda Accord. Mm-hmm. My sister had already learned how to drive. Mm-hmm. So
this is in Connecticut.
That's right, somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And
Uh-huh.
this was somewhere.
Yeah.
And I practiced with my sister's car, and we had a great driving teacher who taught me how to parallel park using the teeny little cars, Matchbox cars.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a 3-ring binder, and there was tape on it, and she would show you how to back in and how to turn the wheel.
Oh,
which is great,
that's
except that
very
has
good.
nothing to do with when you get in the car.
I will agree with that, but I have to say that I still use her tip, which is when you get to the back door,
Yeah.
then you start
Then
turning
you turn
in.
it.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I
And
use
you-
that tip all the
and
time.
my
You do?
car is for bad drivers because it has all of the things. It goes beep, 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 beep if you're too close.
Right. Yeah.
It will stop your car if you're getting towards something in the front or the back,
Yeah.
all those kinds of things.
But does it bake a cherry pie?
It doesn't bake cherry pie.
Well,
It
then
does not
return
have
it.
sex with me.
Return it.
It does not pack for me. It does not.
Send it back.
No, let's think. What else? Look at your great nails. Let me see.
Yeah, there's a lot of nail going
Killing
on there.
it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now you've got a tasteful
By the way,
nail there.
can I just
Yeah,
say
she does.
hi and I love you and I'm so excited and I hate that I have not been able to get my ass on your show because
We ask every year.
because every year you tape when we're taping.
Right.
And
yeah.
and so I was like, fuck that shit. I'm going on the
Yeah.
podcast
Uh-huh.
because I'm gonna get me some Rue if it's the last thing I do.
And
Okay.
by your show, you're talking about Blackish.
I'm talking about
Blackish,
Blackish,
yes,
yeah.
yes. Which you're nominated again for an
Emmy.
Emmy and lead actress in a comedy series
Which is
for
amazing.
a second time. Did
is
you know
amazing.
that it's been 30 years? She
Over
was-
30 years.
Over 30 years.
Since a black woman was nominated or won.
And who
Isabel.
was it? Diane Caro?
I think it was Isabel Sanford. No, Diane Carroll was not in comedy category.
Oh, that's right.
It was Isabel Sanford. Yeah.
Wow.
But Rue and I have a long-standing relationship.
Yes.
I mean, we have a long love.
Longer than you were even around.
Yes.
You know?
Okay, maybe, but me, not
Yeah.
my mama,
Yes.
me.
Yes.
We have a long-standing relationship.
Yeah, I interviewed
my whole
you
family.
with the whole family.
Yeah.
I interviewed you and your sister Rhonda on WNEW.
Yes.
About 13 or 14 years ago.
I feel like it was longer than that.
Yeah, it could have been. Could have been longer than that.
Yeah.
But listen, you have made a name for yourself. I told Michelle earlier, I'm going to refrain from going back to your mother, who it's hard to not talk about her because
I'm wearing a t-shirt
You're wearing
with her
her
face on it.
t-shirt on it, and she's such a huge part of my life
Correct.
and a huge part of pop culture history.
Yeah.
She's one of the greatest stars to ever grace the world, and you know that.
I do know that, and she's not only responsible for bringing me into the world, but also creating a space and carving out a road that makes it possible for my career to be happening.
Absolutely,
So-
and Beyonce and every
just-
other female.
I mean, Demi Lovato just mentions my mom in her new song. Did you
No,
hear
what
that?
song is it?
Oh,
Sorry, not sorry.
No, honey. It just came
Oh.
out. I'm going to look it up on my phone.
Yeah.
It's DJ Jax,
Uh-huh.
and I can't remember the name of the song.
Yeah.
But
And Demi could sing her ass off.
She
she
certainly can.
full on Diana Ross's it in the song, and it's amazing.
That's
Right.
It was so amazing.
Right.
I'm like, still, my mom is still a really good reference.
Well,
Yeah.
no, and she will never. I mean, I can go on, and I'm gonna try to be tasteful with the times I bring her up. Now, you're wearing a Diana Ross T-shirt
I
right
am,
now.
and
Is that
as
a bootleg?
Right at Urban
I
Outfitters?
don't know. No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Uh.
One of my best friends is manager for a chain of extraordinary vintage stores across the southern state of California, Southlands. And every time a Diana Ross T-shirt comes across their stores,
Yeah.
she pulls them for me.
Uh-huh.
And I have a great collection of sweatshirts and T-shirts because of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for some reason, I thought it would work for today, not even realizing that I was coming here because I've been wearing it all day. And, sometimes I just need mommy close to my heart.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you said you talk to her every morning. How early in the morning do you get up?
Sometimes I get up for work at like 4:30.
Sure,
My
yeah.
mom's usually awake.
Really?
Why is she awake?
I don't know. She wakes up
She
early.
goes to bed early?
She goes to bed early, but she wakes up early. But
Yeah.
Like you.
Yeah.
I do too, by the way. I just love talking to my mom first thing in the morning. I don't know. I've kind of always done that. I guess as a kid, I used to get in bed with her in the morning. And
Was it
wake
always
up.
you and her, or all the other kids the same way?
I think everybody has a different rhythm with how
Different time.
Yeah, different rhythm and how they talk to mom. I think I'm the only one that does the morning, and I think I might be the one that talks to my mom the most.
Really?
I'm not sure about
when
that.
When you talk in the morning, you're like, girl, I had the lasagna last night. Do you have the lasagna? Oh, it's well, you should take a little baking soda. Is
No.
it that kind of a
No,
talk?
I usually say hi, mommy,
Uh-huh.
and then I don't know what we talk about.
Yeah.
I really don't. Half the time, I'm not totally awake.
Yeah.
Right.
And I kind of lay in bed and like sit the phone on my head and until I wake up.
Yeah.
And then sometimes she'll say, "Okay, I gotta go get my coffee or whatever," or I'm like, I gotta get up and get dressed. But
Yeah.
I honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know what we always talk about in the morning.
Huh.
Sometimes we're catching up on sort of what's been happening, what's happening with the other siblings, because there's a lot of us.
Yes, there are 5 kids.
It's often my
And
mom.
grandbabies
Yes,
now.
often my mom will say things like, "Have you talked to your siblings?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and I'll give her the update on what I've got, and she'll give me the update on what she's got.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Just normal mommy-daughter chat.
normal mommy-daughter chat.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's so funny. I don't know what we talk about, but she's on tour right now, so I haven't gotten all my,
Right.
mommy morning chats.
Right. Now, when you come from a big family like that, how do you negotiate who gets FaceTime or phone time with mama?
First of all, I've never even thought that there was having to negotiate that. My mom is the most available mommy ever. So I don't know how she does it. I even remember I was having the other day at Essence, because my sister has been opening for my mom on tour.
Amazing.
But my sister Rhonda, who's an amazing storyteller and singer and musician, she did her own main stage performance. At Essence, which was very exciting. And then the two of us were in my mom's dressing room chatting and kikiing and whatever. And my mom was doing her makeup. And I was like, "Guys, stop." And they were like, "What?" And I was like, having a total flashback to us as wee little people in this same scenario. And it's crazy because we are not wee little people anymore.
Yeah.
I'm 44, Rhonda's 45, mom's 73. And we were still doing the same thing. And Rhonda had just come off stage. And I was like, wow, what a special thing. And it's
and
such
blessed that was still doing it, right?
So amazing.
Yeah.
And, such a comfortable place for me.
Right.
And I was thinking of when we were little, there were so many times when we would be arguing or whatever it is that kids and siblings do. And you run into mom's dressing room and like, and I don't have any memory of my mom saying, "Not now." Like, I don't have time. There was always like,
Was her mother like that? Because her mother would take care of you kids.
Ernestine, yeah.
Yes. My mother's name is Ernestine
Is that
also.
true?
Yeah, yeah.
it's such a beautiful name.
It is.
People don't-
No, it isn't used anymore.
People need to.
Yeah, yeah. But so do you think your mother got that from your grandmother? Was your grandmother the same way?
I don't know where my mom picked up her extraordinary parenting skills, but my mom is a very special woman in that sense. She has an unencumbered heart when it comes to the way that she loves. That there's not a lot of She's not like a where you hold on. What do you call it? A grudge keeper
Right.
and all that kind of stuff. She's just not that person.
Well,
So
that's my job.
that's your job. Are you a
Rue
grudge?
will hold all the grudge.
Is that true? Are you a grudge keeper?
You know what? I don't like it. You know, I'm Scorpio just like you.
When's your birthday?
I'm November 17th.
Oh, you were November, so it's all a little hidden. Mine's on the surface.
October?
I'm October 29th. My Scorpio sting is right there on the front. Everybody knows it's there,
Yeah.
and it ain't going anywhere. You November's like people don't know it's really there, and then it happens behind the scenes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, very true. And it's something I've had to deal with, and because I know that actually that stinger is pointed directly at me.
Yeah. What do they say? One finger pointed out. There's
Yes.
all those back.
Yeah. So I've been known to carry grudges, and I also am very aware that I am it only hurts me more.
Yeah.
But
Well, they say resentment is taking the poison yourself.
and expecting someone else to die. Yeah. Exactly. It's not a good thing. But I get up very early in the morning. I meditate in the morning, and
What kind of meditation do you do?
after I stretch because I'm old. I stretch. I pray. I'm not religious. I don't, but I pray.
So do I.
And after I pray, I cross my legs and I envision the world. I envision looking at Earth, and I separate myself from myself, and so I can look down and I become very aware of what my thoughts are, and just that separation from body and mind into just
Whatever.
Yeah. That's what I do.
Yeah, I have a spiritual practice, and by the way, can we put a pin in and go back to you saying you're old and what your secrets are? Because can we
I want to be that kind of old.
Can we like talk about that for a second? But we'll just put a pin in that while we talk about meditation.
Yeah. All right.
We'll get back to the aesthetics later. In terms of they say praying is talking to God and meditating is listening. Whether it's God, whatever that is for you, nature, higher power. So I do something similar too. I should stretch more, but my spiritual practice is very based in talking out loud. It often starts with, "Hi, God, it's me."
I love that.
And I try and do it on my knees. There's something very special about that for me. And then I sit cross-legged, but I also do a lot of really good meditation in my bathtub. And the beautiful thing about meditation for me is how portable it is.
Yes.
I feel like there's the practice of doing what you're doing while you're doing it, or being where you are while you're there, being where my feet are, has really changed my relationship to my world.
I want to ask
me.
what the difference is, because we talk about meditation a lot here in Spiritual Journey. I want to know, I started getting more into reading about and trying to discover this transcendental meditation
I actually
journey.
don't know a lot about
I
that.
don't either. Do you?
I don't either.
No, I mean, I've sort of made up my meditation and spiritual practice by calling on and drawing from lots of different things that have worked for me on my journey. Pema Chodron, I don't know if you know who that is, but she's a spiritual teacher. I think she's a Buddhist monk. I don't know what her title would be or label, but she had a book that I originally discovered called When Things Fall Apart. And it was the first time I felt like somebody speaking a spiritual language sat down next to me instead of so far in front of me. Because often I feel like certain people communicate about a spiritual practice or meditation, and it feels like it's so out of my reach that like it kind of makes me feel bad about where I'm at or what I'm incapable of or capable of or whatever that is. And it felt like she sat down right next to me, right in the experience.
What's the name again?
When Things Fall Apart?
So Pema Chodron.
Pema Chodron.
Pema Chodron, Chodron, I believe. And the book When Things Fall Apart was actually, I don't know, I resisted it for so long because I was like, the idea of things falling apart, that didn't sound exciting to me. But when I read it, it actually felt like just a hug, like somebody met me right where I was and said like, where you are is actually okay. And it's where I came up with, I don't know if you've seen that quote that came out of a meditation practice for me and a conversation with my mom. May the space between where I am and where I want to be inspire me. Because I don't know about you, but I find that there's these times when you like see where you want to be, whether it's externally, like I want to be doing this in my career, or there's this thing that I can't seem to stop doing in myself that I know is not working for me and is not being effective in my life. and how can I stop doing that? And the affirmation thing of like I am, where you sort of name what you want to be, always felt like it didn't quite match. It made me feel bad about where I was. And I felt like the may I is like a gentle invitation, like it acknowledges where you're at, but gently coaxes you towards where you want to go. And then that space between where I am and where I want to be becomes actually a space of awareness and inspiration.
Which could work really well with what we were talking about with cleaning out the inventory.
Yeah, right. But I think it also acknowledges that that there is another force outside of your own consciousness, and it surrenders to that. And I think just that acknowledgement alone sort of recalibrates your whole consciousness. And that's and like the act of getting on your knees actually recognizes and pays reverence to another power.
So, I mean, I remember early on somebody just breaking it down this way, like, do you ever question what happens when you flip the light switch and the light turns on?
Right.
You know, that there's actually something that's occurring, right, that's bigger than the light switch. And
that you can count on.
And that has been my experience in my life, is that I don't know that I could articulate it to somebody what I believe higher power or God
Doesn't
is,
matter.
and I don't know that it matters. It does matter to some people.
Some people
feel
does.
very threatened by not having a name
For
that. It doesn't feel threatening to me. It feels actually very supportive and very freeing. But acknowledging and making space for and actually being a part of, like one of, a worker among workers or whatever that is, like creates a space for me to not have to have it all on my shoulders.
Yes. We're going to take a quick break. We've got Tracee Ellis Ross. We're going to talk about the Emmy nomination. We're going to talk about Blackish and so much.
And we're going to talk about how you look so good. That's what we're going to talk about, people.
I love it. All right, we'll be right back after this. You know, if you want to invest in your life, invest in a good night's sleep. And that's where Casper mattresses come in. It is a quality mattress. And I know, Michelle, you've talked about it for a long time.
I swear by it.
It is really an investment in your health and your livelihood.
You know, as far as they come with medicine, we're all evolving. All these things are evolving. And these things that are coming out are really important. And it has to do with sleep.
Yes.
Just as important as a healthy diet, whichever way you choose to eat, as long as it's healthy, is no stress. Right? Reducing stress and getting a full night's sleep.
Getting a full night's sleep, because you have to allow your body time to heal. Your body will heal itself.
It needs to recharge.
It has to recharge. That's why a good night's sleep is so important. That's why Casper mattresses are such a great addition to your livelihood, to your health.
Yep. And here's the thing why I love it, you guys, and it's no lie. I have one. I live for it. It combines supportive memory foam to create an award-winning sleep surface with just the right sink and just the right bounce. So there's like that hybrid mattress that they have, right?
Sure.
And it's so fantastic because unlike some of the other mattresses that you sink into, it's not that. And the other one that you bounce off of, it's not that. It's the perfect, like, what's the word? Amalgamation.
Oh, I like that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just go with it, even if it's wrong.
Sure.
Don't tell me because you burst my bubble. Casper mattress is amazing. Free shipping and returns to U.S. and Canada. You can try Casper for 100 nights risk-free in your own home. If you don't love it, they're going to pick it up and refund you everything. You can get $50 toward any mattress purchase by visiting casper.com/RU and using that offer code RU. So what you waiting for? Go to casper.com/RU and get started today. Terms and conditions apply.
We've got Tracee Ellis Ross nominated for an Emmy the second time. The show.
I like the way that sounds.
Yeah, it sounds great, and you've worked so hard. I remember seeing you on Public Access TV?
Alan and Susie.
Yes, that was. I don't know how long
Alan
ago
and
that was.
Susie?
Alan and Susie. I would do
my
Tracy's
God.
top 10.
Yes, that's right.
That's going way
back. I don't know how long ago that was. I really don't.
It was a very long time ago.
A very long time ago.
Okay. It was before I moved to LA.
Yeah.
And actually, I remember seeing you in like a Datsun or a Toyota commercial where you're crossing the Verrazano
Infinity
Bridge.
commercial.
Yes.
And that is when I got my SAG card.
Is
I was
it?
Taft-Hartley right into the agency,
Oh,
kids.
wow.
Yeah. God, that's a really long time
That's
ago.
a long time ago. She's driving over the Verrazano Bridge. I always put an N in there.
Verrazano.
Verrazano Bridge.
Right.
I like the end. Verrazano.
Verrazano.
It's a little like pizza.
Right.
It's like a Verrazano pizza.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Yeah, a
I want a whole
Verrazano.
pie.
Yeah, you know what it is? A Verrazano is 2 pizzas on top of each other, cheese to cheese.
All right. You don't have to ask us twice. We'll take it.
That's what's a Verrazano. There's the Verrazano Bridge, and then there's the Verrazano,
Verrazano
which
pizza.
is, it's 2 pizzas, cheese to cheese.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. So, no, you've worked really hard, and it's amazing how it seems like you've never stopped working.
I stopped working, but I have to say that, like, I saved my money really well during Girlfriends. And so as a result, and for me, one of the ways I define success is the freedom to choose.
Yes.
And so I saved really well, and I was smart with my money.
How many seasons was Girlfriends on?
We did 8.
Wow.
170 some odd episodes.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
And so as a result, I was able to sort of take a little bit of a pause. And it was kind of fascinating because after Girlfriends, I had to tell you, I mean, I really thought the pearly gates were going to open up. And like, I don't know, the husband was going to ride in and the movies and all of it. And, you know, reality check, like the industry does not quite work that way. But I had enough of a safety net without having to go back to my mom. I have supported myself for many years on my own. And made a career for myself and a life for myself on my own, outside of my mother's embrace. But yeah, I mean,
No, it seems like there wasn't even a blip on the whole thing. It seems like Girlfriends, you did some TV movies and some feature films, and then rode right up into Blackish.
well, I did on BET. I produced Read Between the Lines.
That's
And I
right.
did 1 season of that, which was really fun, and it ended unexpectedly for me, but in like the perfect way. It made space for Blackish, and. There haven't been any blips. I mean, the truth is that I've gone from a place in my career and my life to waiting to be chosen, like taking what was given,
Right.
and making the best of it, to actually being in a position where I could choose what it is that I'm looking to express through my art.
How much of that has to do with coming from a show business family?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No. I mean, you know, when I came up, like I'm 44, so when I was starting in the industry, being a child of was not, I mean,
Right.
most people that were children of somebody big changed their names.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I happen to keep my last name. I've never, never anything I was wanted to hide, nor could I, because I look just like my mom.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's nothing I could do about it.
But all the kids took, because your last name is Ellis, Silberstein Ellis Ross.
So I was born Tracee Joy Silberstein.
Yeah.
And then I became Tracee Joy Ross through school. And then, of course, you rarely use your middle name. So I was Tracee Ross. And then when I needed to join, like after the Infinity commercial, there was another Tracee Ross. Do you remember her?
Star Search,
With
yes.
EY, yeah, that
Yeah.
beautiful woman.
She was
So-
Star Search Model of the Year.
She was
Yes.
the spokesmodel.
Spokesmodel
Yes,
of
that's
the year.
exactly
Yes,
right. And
yes.
then she went on, and she was on, I can't remember what soap
She
opera
was,
for
yeah,
many years.
Another World or something like that.
Beautiful
yeah.
girl.
Girl,
I
yes.
was happy to have her name.
Yeah,
Yes.
gorgeous.
And so when I needed to join SAG, I was like, okay, do I put Silberstein back on? Like, do I put Joy back in? Like, what do I do? But I had been known as Tracee Ross, and most people knew me as that, even my friends. So, and I wanted my dad's name back in my name, because I felt like when people see me, they immediately know that I'm my mom's child, but I was just as much my dad's daughter as I was my mom's daughter. And I wanted, when my name hit the screen, for him to have a stake in me and for him to be able to say to people, that's my girl.
Yeah.
So he and his wife are Bob and Susan Ellis. And so I put Ellis in the middle because it didn't work to put it on the end because people always knew me as Tracee
Yeah.
Ross. So Tracee Ellis Ross was born.
Now,
I
when,
love that.
when you have a parent who's Jewish and who has gone through the changing the name to seem less ethnic,
I don't know that that's why he did that.
You don't know why did he? What did he?
I
Explain?
think it's just that Silberstein was really long. Because his name was Robert Ellis Silberstein.
Oh, Oh, I
So
didn't
it's
know
not
that.
like he made up Ellis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was his middle name. I think I can't, it's escaping me right now, but it was someone's name in his family.
I see.
So they dropped it out of, it's a long name.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Although
out of,
I really love Silverstein.
I have to tell you, it's a good name, and Tracee Joy Silverstein is
It's
very
got it.
very much who I am. All right.
got it.
I remember on Girlfriends, they said they had to try and work an edit around the fact that I would say "oi" all the time. Oi, oi, just like a good New York Jew.
I
I
love
love that.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, of course, your father was a manager. He managed Shaka Khan and
Billy Preston,
Billy Preston.
Meatloaf.
Wow. That's how you guys became friends with Meatloaf.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and how because Chudney's best friend from childhood is Pearl,
I see.
one of Meat's daughters. Yes, that
One
is
of
how,
Meat's daughters.
that did sound a little funny.
It's weird.
I did. I'm not gonna lie.
One of Meat's daughters.
Yeah, one of Meat's daughters. Yeah, it's Pearl and Amanda. Yeah. Anyway, yes.
So so growing up in the business. So you feel that obviously being the child of a superstar, you had to have by osmosis learned certain ins and outs of how to manage a career in show business.
Well, I think one realizes in life that we learn more from example than from somebody telling you something. And my mom's an amazing businesswoman.
Yeah.
She is also very professional.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, my mom is so kind and like on time and like all of those things and has a great work ethic. And those are all the things that I learned from my mom.
Sure.
Like I learned like something as simple as being on time does not mean showing up unfed when you're supposed to be there or 10 minutes late.
Right.
Being on time means getting there 10 minutes early and being ready to start your job at the time you are supposed to be there. I don't know that I always adhere to that quite that well. But my mother, like if dinner's at 6 and you walk in at 6, you're late.
Right.
Dinner started at 6.
Right.
What signs, Diana?
Right.
Aries.
Aries.
Yeah.
The worker.
Yeah, I mean, and my mom, my mom does it all herself. She doesn't have like hundreds of people that make calls for her and all that. My mom does that stuff. So I watched all that happen. I walked into this industry. I started being a person as a very competent, capable human being. All of my siblings are. We can really, like I know how to fill out a FedEx air bill early on. I knew how to, make a call and be professional on a call. I remember in our house, for example, that thing, Mom, so-and-so's on the phone.
Right.
My mom would give you the look of death.
Good.
Put that shit on hold.
Yeah.
Or cover that thing up.
Yeah.
And don't be screaming through the house for
Right.
Mom. Like that doesn't work, So
yeah.
all of those kinds of things that are small, but they really make a difference in your career
They do
and your
make a difference.
efficiency.
They absolutely do.
And I don't think people realize this in this day and age. I find it bizarre in certain generations. But you work for your dreams. You don't start at the top. And it takes a lot, and you got to show up.
Yeah.
I think of just all the hours that I logged, all the different things.
10,000 hours.
That's
become-
a master.
Yeah.
But it's like you were
is a different
mentioning
time.
generations.
Yeah.
A lot of them do start at the top. And that
That's
leads
true.
us to the conversation that we've discussed a few times, how there's this graveyard of people that were once reality stars or celebrities because they started at the top
Yeah.
and have nowhere to go but to
And-
live their life after. So imagine these reality, it's weird, right? Think about
Yeah.
these reality stars in their circles are now working at a mall. Like,
Oh, is that
but just
wow,
think about it, because
oof.
what else are they going to do?
That
Because
is
once that clock
really-
is ticked
Yeah.
and their money's spent.
Well, that's the other thing, though.
It's
I mean, I
weird.
loved that Jay-Z song that just came out. What's it called? The OJ story of OJ.
Right.
Just this idea that people really like flash, and I understand where it comes from. But people really spend money and spend a lot of money and lose their freedom to choose. Because you don't stay at the top forever.
No.
I mean, it's not a reality.
No, it's not a reality.
It's 10 years is a good career.
Oh, it used to be 7 years is about the longevity of somebody. They said if you had a hit record, you could work for 7 years. But now, because kids and the consumers, their attention span is so short,
It could be 5.
it could be 5 years.
And I got
Could
it
be 2, you
It
guys.
could be. It really could be. But people don't plan for that.
No.
The money will stop.
It
coming.
will stop.
Yes.
It's really real.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, so you know, I don't know. It's very interesting, and I'm grateful for the. I remember after Girlfriends thinking this show went 8 years. This might be it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a fair.
That is a fair
Fear.
assessment,
Yes, it is.
and it's a fair assessment of the
Of
scenario.
this business,
That could have been it, and to be, by the way, second long-running series. Like, you know, we're going into season 4. Like, that is a blessing.
Yeah.
I am not mistaken about the humility of this is not me, and this is special.
It certainly is. And it took the time in between the two series to realize, oh my goodness, this is really big.
Yeah.
This is big. On top of that, you know, the recognition from the industry, you know, with the Emmy, you know, you were
And I won a Golden Globe.
and you won a Golden
Listen,
Globe.
you know, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I'm gonna because it's very exciting. I'm not gonna lie.
No, you got to.
And we
You
love Golden
got
Globes.
to.
But I will say this, the thing that was very exciting about it to me is it was very exciting personally. But if I am honest, it was more humbling to stand in that moment and know that I was standing not only on the shoulders of so many, but shoulder to shoulder with so many.
Yes.
And that it was definitely, for me personally, a very exciting moment, but it meant more about the magnitude of the historical context and what actually it says about our industry and about us as storytellers, and not just for a woman of color, but for everyone in the industry to take a moment to ponder, why is it that it has been this long? And what is it about the stories that we're telling, the stories that we are acknowledging, the actors that we are acknowledging, and how can we all do better?
Right.
Because the story that I am telling through Bo is not a unique story, but it is unique for television. And why is that? And it's not that a woman like Bo is new or revolutionary or anything, because you could look around across our country and these women are everywhere. People are like, it's so amazing that she has a job. I'm like, is it?
Oh my
I'm
God.
like, but you know what I mean?
people
Like,
say that?
well, they do, like, because it's not normal for television.
Right.
I am playing a traditional wife, but what's very interesting to me is not that she's a wife, not that she is a mother, not that she is working, not that she's a doctor, but that she is all of those things. That her selfhood is actually what's interesting to me about the character that I play. And I felt in that moment when I won the Golden Globe, that thing that I said, that looking outside of where the industry usually looks, because we're there. We have been there, we are there. And that felt special in that moment for all of us. And I know that for me, when others that I feel an affinity towards or an identification with win, I feel like I win too.
Yeah.
And so I really felt like it was not just mine. It was all of ours.
Sure.
It was a very big, special moment for many. Again, on the shoulders that I stand and the shoulders that I'm side by side with. There are so many extraordinary actresses
Amazing.
that rightfully deserve to be winning and acknowledged and praised for the storytelling that they do through their bodies and their being. And it just happened to be me in that moment, but I did not take it lightly that it was about me.
Yeah. And this time, we're going to take a break, but this time nominated with Lily Tomlin.
Holy Lordy.
Jane Fonda.
Shut the front door.
It's amazing.
I mean, these are not just women that have influenced my career, but my life.
Yes.
Sure.
I mean, shut the front door.
It's crazy.
It's crazy town.
Yeah.
And it
Amazing.
says so much about them in the longevity of their careers and what they are continuing to breathe for all of us, so that we can see what it looks like for talent and womanhood to evolve into such beauty at that age. It just kills me.
It is. We're going to take a break, but
Okay.
you know, you brought up an interesting point too, because you know, politically, what's happening now, and there's this great divide in our country. I want
Yes,
to touch
there
on
is.
that a
Okay.
little bit, but we've got Tracee Ellis Ross. Blackish is on what nights on ABC?
So we are moving to Tuesdays at 9
Tuesdays
on
at 9.
ABC. So we, for the 4th season, will be on Tuesday nights on ABC at 9 p.m.
And you can also catch it on, is it Hulu or Netflix?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, Hulu and ABC.com
Right.
for now, yes.
Okay.
You can.
Take a break. We'll be right back. You know, it's so fun living in the 21st century because, you know, technology has met up with our lifestyles. Case in point, Blue Apron.
Yeah.
The fact that they are able to send fresh food to your doorstep is brilliant. And in doing so, teaching people like me how to cook, because I don't cook. And I've never thought of you, Michelle, as someone who's a chef, but you
Thank
are
you.
a chef now.
Well, thanks to Blue Apron, I'm a chef. I mean, I've always scraped by. But this technology catching up to us and our expectations makes one big obese society. So that's the good thing about Blue Apron is it's healthy
Yes.
food that you know it's real ingredients. There's nothing processed. Like you
Right.
see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not sending you Doritos to sprinkle on some fake cheese and
But
call
you
it a meal.
could if you wanted
I mean,
to.
you could add your own side things to it. But I have to tell you, being a mom, I've always had my, my staple recipes that I have. It's expensive feeding a family going
Sure,
out every
absolutely.
single. When I was single in New York City, I can eat out every night of the week because it was me and a dog.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when there's 4 of you and your kids are growing, you want to put good food in their body. And Blue Apron is a great way to do it for less than $10 a meal. And that is so important. Think about that.
Yeah.
Less than $10 a meal, Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes along with pre-proportioned ingredients. Let me just say that again. Pre-proportioned. So that means you don't have to go, oh my God, where's my measuring spoon? Because it's already done. They come in these little things.
Yeah.
Oh, but if it says, here's your red wine vinegar, you just dump it in.
Now, do you season it yourself, or do they add the seasonings?
They add the seasonings. All you have to add is salt and pepper.
Okay.
Because there are people that are on low salt diets. There are people that don't like salt. I love salt. My kids don't like sometimes Lola will go out, it's a lot of pepper. You like the pepper tonight, huh? So it really depends on the person. It's so easy. It's a home cooked meal. You could make it yourself even when you don't know how to cook. And Blue Apron knows that when you cook with incredible ingredients, you're going to make incredible meals. So they set the highest quality standards for their community of 150 artisanal suppliers, which means these are people that specialize in doing what they're doing.
Oh, okay, so if I'm a baby carrot supplier, that makes me artisanal?
You're an artisanal baby carrot
Oh,
supplier.
I love that.
Yes, queen. They're family-run fisheries, farms, ranchers. Great meals that are coming up. Let's see. We've got whole grain pasta and summer vegetables with heirloom tomato caprese salads for all the veggies out there.
I went to high school with a girl named Caprese.
Oh, how was she?
She was fabulous.
I heard she was kind of cheap. I'm just going to say that. New recipes are created weekly, not repeated within a year. You can choose your meals from a variety of recipes or let Blue Apron's culinary team surprise you if you don't want to choose them yourself. You could just go rogue and go, I don't know what I'm going to get this week.
Ooh, I like that idea.
I'm going to live on the edge.
Uh-huh.
Just like, who sang that? Aerosmith. Just like Steven Tyler. Living on the edge. Oh, you're not getting any royalties for that.
No.
Check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals free with free shipping. And I'm talking about free shipping, y'all, with a big ass box. It's worth it. Go to blueapron.com/Ru. Also, they have an app that's super great to use. You can download that or go to blueapron.com/RU. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
We are back with Tracee Ellis Ross. We're talking about Michelle's skin, which looks gorgeous.
Thanks.
And are you, Michelle?
It comes with me wherever I go.
Yes,
Does
and
it?
it's all
And
over
is
your
it
body.
all over your body?
Yes.
It's portable.
Is that are you wearing the Lady Danger?
I'm wearing Lady Danger, yeah.
And are you wearing
I-
Ruby Woo?
Darling, I found a new one, but let me tell you something. Lady Danger is my mom's favorite.
Oh,
I mean,
is it?
It's
I think it is.
everybody's
I love
favorite.
it.
I think that's her
love
stage lip.
It is a
Tracy's
great-
wearing more of a blue red. Lady
So
Danger's
I
an
love
orange
I
red.
love a Ruby Woo.
Yeah.
However, I've recently switched over to Colored Rain. Colored Rain I found online. Amber Rose always wears like an amazing matte lip. So I searched through her Instagram until she tagged what that matte lip was. And I ordered it by going to the Instagram and then taking the link and
Wow.
going.
Wow.
And I ordered a plethora of colors. And they have a red that is very similar to Ruby Woo, but it's brighter. But again, like I could, make out with someone
Sure.
and it wouldn't get on their face.
Yeah.
And I use the MAC cherry pencil.
Same.
And
That's
then
what this is too.
yeah, it's a great
And you
pencil.
blend it in.
You blend it in.
But that's the tip. Let's just sidebar that.
Yeah.
When you're wearing a liquid matte lipstick
yes, you gotta.
versus a traditional
Yeah.
lipstick,
Yeah.
the best way to hold it on is to, when it's wet, you to get that liner in there.
Yeah.
It'll lock that shit
Wait,
up.
help me.
so
Walk me
tight.
through
Okay,
it.
okay.
Lip
So-
liner, cherry lip liner first.
No.
Okay, well, I do the cherry lip liner first because when it's liquid, sometimes it bleeds.
Yeah.
And so it will lock it actually inside the right part of my lip. Then I put the liquid on, and then right when it's almost dry, I go back with the line again.
So mine, I'll do it just in the inside.
Oh,
You're
really?
doing what
And
just in the inside?
just the liquid lip,
Yeah.
the liquid matte.
Yeah.
Before it's like how it started for me was Revlon had this 24-hour.
Yes,
Yes,
I remember
yes.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
Way before any of
Yes.
this trend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would do it with that and it would last forever. So you put it in the middle, not quite out to the line. You did it there.
Yeah.
You know, you put your lips together. And then when it's still wet, you grab that pencil, the liner.
Yeah.
And then you pull it out to the end.
and you pull it with the pencil. So
Correct.
with color.
So that's why it will avoid the bleeding.
Yes. Yeah.
And it locks it in as it's drying. Done.
And
the rest
I
of the
will
day.
say that I have been a matte lipstick girl forever.
Really?
I do not like a gloss. I can't talk properly. I don't know what happens to
I
me,
end
but
up
I
wiping
lose.
my lips all the time. And I'm so conscious.
And at 44, I will tell you that with my beautiful lip line that I've always had, it's not quite as solid
Things
anymore.
change.
Things really,
Yeah.
really, they
Right.
really changed, guys.
They do.
And so I love a lip liner now in a way that I didn't used to.
Right. That's a gorgeous. Do you do other than? Do you ever do a Lady Danger?
Lady Danger's a little too orange for me.
Yeah.
I disagree. I
you-
disagree.
I just never lean towards it.
See, I'm a blue-red girl. I'm from New Jersey, honey. It was blue, blood, red always.
Yeah.
I just got into Lady Danger over the past 3 years, and it's changed my life. It looks better on tan skin.
Okay, so what I put is I do the cherry pencil, and
With
then I take
Lady Danger.
I take the NARS Velvet Matte Lip Pencil, which is called. There's an orangey one, and I put that over.
But
I'm gonna try it though. I'm gonna go home and try it.
So what I do is Lady Danger with cherry liner, so
Okay,
it's
I'm
not
trying that.
orange.
Yeah.
So it brings the blue red into the orange middle.
Yeah.
That's the secret.
Do you have a favorite lipstick, like matte or glossy? Like, what's your?
You know what? I love Lady Danger, and you know when I ask this question around the world, usually the answer is Ruby Woo or Lady
Yes.
Danger.
But I
Those
will
are the
say
two.
this. I just hunted down. I asked some of my little girls in Drag Coven in Canada to get it for me.
Oh, I know
Drag
these girls.
Coven.
I know
What
these
is
girls.
that?
They're
Yeah.
adorable.
Yeah.
There's a MAC red that's only in Canada. and
What do
it's
you
called
mean?
Proud to be a Canadian. I tagged them on Twitter and said, I need this. They were like, oh, sorry, it's just for people in Canada. I'm like, you can't give me
Just
one?
send it.
Huh.
No. So I had my little girls, my drag coven go. They got me one. It is a cross between
Ruby
Lady
Woo
Danger.
and-
Yes.
Wow.
I will have it in my paws soon, and I will.
Okay,
here's
But I
here's
just want to sidebar before you say it. Colored Rain is spelled with a U like
yes,
the British way.
and RAINE. And
So
you
it's
guys should go look that up.
Colored COLOURED.
Yes.
RAINE.
I see.
All right, go
And
ahead.
I'm sorry, can we break down for Tracee the coven?
Drag coven. So there's these two girls in Canada who are biological female drag queens.
Okay.
And they dress up and they
backtrack.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
First of all, I'm learning so much right now, and I have to say, God, I wish that all of this liberation existed when I was a kid, because I'm so curious about what different kinds of ideas and thoughts I would have. It's so beautiful to me.
is.
It is.
And there's a lot for me to learn, and I really like that I am asking questions. So,
Yes.
can you please say what you said again for
They
me?
are two biological, Courtney and Jamie.
Okay.
Female
Yes.
drag queens. So they dress up in drag and they come to all of our shows and they perform
Love our
out. They
world.
are
Yeah.
lovely, lovely girls. They have give us gifts every time they see us. They take the best pictures of us and our
Yeah.
girls.
They're
and
fabulous,
just
and that
lovely.
which segues what we were talking about before the break, which is that we live in this world, this great divide,
yeah.
where so much great stuff is happening.
Oh, my
right
God,
now.
yes.
It's amazing.
It's extraordinary.
And it's so extraordinary that the people who from the 20th century who are being left behind are creating such a stink.
Yes.
Such a
and
mess.
that's part of
They're so sad. Yes.
why the divide. And you know what you described with Blackish and the family, the mixture and the different tones, and what Bo does for a living and how she's able to hold it together. It speaks volumes about how far we as not just people of color, but as humans, have come so
yes.
far. What do you think? What do you think it needs to be done, in your opinion? It's not a political show, but what do you think needs to be done? How are we going to move forward?
I don't know. I think compassion and leaning towards the humanity and not the vilification of others will be very helpful in this process.
It's so irresistible. I mean, it's so insidious.
But it's also so easy to decide somebody is bad,
Mm-hmm.
to decide somebody should be vilified, and there's some people that should be. Just saying.
No names.
I'm just saying that sometimes it's really hard to call on God and say, "Can you help me be compassionate in my heart because I feel so angry. And the truth is, not only do I feel angry, but what happens is it makes me feel scared inside. And when I feel scared, it makes me feel small. And I know that my job as a human is not to be small, but to be big and to be expansive and to be big-hearted and to be teachable and to be willing. And all of those people that I want to vilify, but I know I shouldn't, make me feel the opposite and make so many people feel the opposite. And so many people, by the way, for very real reasons feel frightened because their lives and their livelihoods and their well-being and their health and all of these things are in jeopardy in a very, very real way. And so I think for those of us in those moments when we are not the ones in danger, it is our responsibility to the best of our ability to show up for each other with compassion, with open hearts, to say, how can I help? What can I do? To get clear on what we feel capable of doing and how we feel capable of stretching outside of our own comfort zones to lean towards helping each other. And also to the best of our ability, which is the hardest part, to hold a space of love so that we can find connection in the humanity with those people that feel so strangely differently and are so afraid of certain things that I'm amazed. Like I don't totally understand the gender fluidity language that is happening because it's brand new.
Correct.
And I want to learn because I find
Don't learn from Vogue.
No, I won't learn from Vogue. But do you know what I found? Where's my phone? I found this thing, and tell me if this is, hold on, too far from the mic, but hang on. Because it's on my phone.
While you're looking for that, I want to sidebar and say the color that she's wearing is called Cherry Blossom.
Thank you.
From
Where's my
Colored
phone?
Rain, and it's beautiful.
That's what you're wearing right
That's
now?
what
Yeah,
Trace's
cherry
wearing.
blossom. I can pull it out so
It
we
looks
can
so
check.
beautiful on you.
I really love it. But let me just find this thing for you because it's called the Genderbread
Okay.
Man.
The Genderbread
That's
Man.
No, but it's
Yes.
really good because
Does
come
it
on.
explain everything?
I think it lays it out in a really, at least, clear way for me to break something down. And it's like I put on my Instagram for people what sex positive means because people are like so shaming around sexuality. It's
Right.
like
Around
unfucking
everything.
believable.
It doesn't sex positive mean that you are open to that
I'm
you're
gonna
not
read
shaming it?
Yes, that there is not judgment here.
Right.
That I'm going to read that. But look at this genderbread person. So it says there's identity, which has to do with your brain. Then there's who you are attracted to, and then there's your sex, which has to do with your genitals.
genitalia.
Between
right?
me down there.
And then and then there's how you choose to express all of those things,
Okay.
which
All
is
right.
your choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, it is.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
It
mean,
is.
that is fucking great.
It
That's
is
fashion
indeed.
forward.
Because, and
Yeah.
I realized, yes, it is. And I realized myself the other day, I started to say something and I was like, girl, you need to take that back and learn something new. I was about to say women's wear, men's wear. I was about to say menswear, and I was like, I don't know if I agree with that term anymore. I like to feel powerful in my clothes, and how I choose to feel powerful, whether it's a skirt or a suit or a tie or whatever, shouldn't have to be called menswear or women's
No,
wear.
but sometimes it's easier in that case to just say it.
Of course it is,
You know what I
but
mean?
there's so much of that going on that I love that we are doing
It's
a better
discussion,
job.
yeah.
No, it's fabulous.
dialogue.
This discussion, the dialogue is great, but just know that in your heart, if
Yeah.
you're coming from a place of love, you have nothing to worry
Correct.
about.
I don't feel worried. I honestly find that the language actually allows space for some new kind of thinking
Yeah.
that I think is wonderful. I
It
really
is.
do.
It is absolutely
really
wonderful. I've said this for years, though, too, that, if the electrical grid went off here in L.A., you'd see what people are really made of. You'd see all of that
Real
stuff go
fast.
way out
Yeah.
the door
Yeah.
real
That's
fast.
fantastic.
You-
I
Real
also
fast.
think if people stop dyeing their gray, we would see people's age more. Because let
No
me tell you,
comment.
I need to go in right now.
No comment.
Thank God we're not on film because let me tell you something, honey, my roots are not done.
I do my own.
Do you really? I really,
Black hair dye is the easiest thing in
I really
the
understand
world.
that, and I
You
think
do
I
it in
should
the
take
shower?
that on.
I don't know. What I'll do is
Looking for
I
sex
watch my
positive.
TV when I put my makeup on,
Yeah.
and I watch. So I'll
Wait,
put,
you do what?
When I get ready, I don't watch television. The only time I watch shows is when I'm painting my face. So I give myself 2 hours to get ready.
And on the machine to the gym. You do
Yes,
watch.
the gym too. Yes,
Yeah.
when
Hold
I
on.
run.
But how do you? So you're not watching; you're listening to TV.
No, it's my computer.
Uh-huh.
I'll watch online. It's right here, and I'm getting ready at the same time.
Fantastic.
Like even when I'm on tour for 6 months, that is right with me,
Right.
and I'm backlogged. I've got
Yeah.
everything going on.
Okay.
I'm almost done with Bates Motel. Like we're there.
Huh.
So the long and short of it is,
Excuse me, girl.
but
Excuse
on my
me,
hair,
girl.
that's it.
Girl. Let me just throw that in there.
What, my Bates Motel? Yeah. I love it. I'm so far behind. Like, I just finished Mad Men. Like, I'm really on.
Oh, okay, you're far behind. There's
really
great
on the-
TV on. You got to watch Queen Sugar. There's such good TV.
So
on.
much stuff going on.
And
So-
you're
Did you watch
doing-
I Love
you-
Dick? Oh, so
Yes.
good.
You're
Love.
touching up
Catherine
your
Hahn
hair
stuff.
at the same time.
So no, not
This is why I'm curious.
So I'll put the computer here. The hair dye, I get it from it's Nature Tin or Colors of Nature. They're all natural, Whole Foods,
Yeah.
Erewhon hair
Yeah,
dye, right?
yeah, right.
Get it? I do it myself. You leave it on for half an hour, and then you jump in the shower and
That's
rinse it
pretty
off.
brilliant.
Okay, and
And
it
gray
doesn't
is
burn
gone.
or anything.
No, not
Yeah.
at all.
I'm going to
Right.
Not
read
at all.
Sex Positive when
Okay.
we get back, or
Let's
now?
no, let's do it. We're gonna take
Okay.
a quick break in a minute, but let's do it
Sex
now.
positivity isn't about liking sex, liking kinky sex, having a lot of sex, or having a lot of
Well,
partners.
then I'm out.
You're just sexy.
I'm done.
Sex positivity is about respecting other people, whether their sexual choices are the same as yours. It's about not judging people because of their sexual desires, practices, or histories. It's about celebrating people's courage in creating the sex lives that work for them in the face of cultural myths, shame, misinformation, and trauma that are used to control us. Sex positivity is the belief that the only valid measure of a sexual act is the consent, pleasure, and well-being of the people who do it and are affected by it. Anything else is your own projection. Charlie
Which
Glickman.
goes against
that.
every single thing we are taught
I
as
know.
a society.
I know.
And I'm not saying taught, I'm saying ingrained and pounded
There
in your
is
head.
a machinery that is in place.
Correct.
Systemic machinery.
What do you think keeps that? We're going to go to break.
Yeah.
But what do you think keeps that machinery in place? Because that's the real story.
Ignorance.
Well, and also there's systemic stuff
Brainwashing.
that is in how things are, how our government runs, all of that, like patriarchy, misogyny, like all of those
Right.
things. That is sort of. I don't have any words.
No.
Great.
You're saying what you're saying is
Judgment
that
in general,
is
too.
that you can control people by fear, and if you
Yes.
keep that
Yes.
there's this unseen force out there that is evil and that is out to get you, that's a way to control people.
Or this idea of stay in your lane, or that's not fair, which is very the same as stay in your place. All
Right.
of those kinds of
Yes.
things that, it's like the expression settle down cracks me up.
right
Because imagine if it had nothing to do with the idea of marriage. If someone said to you, settle down, that is so shaming. And it's like, stay in your place, little lady.
Right, right,
you know,
right, right.
and no thank you.
Yeah.
Like, I actually would love to find a partner that I can be not settled down, but
Yeah.
in my full form.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting though, because when you take that on, there aren't a lot of people who can deal with that. I mean, a lot of people on the
It's getting
surface,
more.
a lot of people on the surface say, or a man would say, "Oh, I'm down with that." But then, like I said, when the lights go off, you really get to see who people are when the electrical grid goes
true.
off. But in a relationship, when the shit hits the fan and people revert back to their primary directives as children and stuff, it's very telling. It's very telling. Okay, we're going to take a break real quick. We'll be right back with Tracee Ellis Ross. I want to talk about a mattress that was designed, developed, and assembled in the U.S. of A.
Go ahead.
It's called Casper, and it is the finest mattress you will ever lay your body on. We want to talk about an investment in your health, an investment in what your potential is to allow your body to heal itself with a good night's sleep. And that's Casper mattresses right there.
That's what all the doctors are talking about these days. Stress management and a good night's sleep, because your body cannot heal if you're sleeping 4 hours a night on this rickety old mattress.
Right.
Casper mattress has this amazing memory foam. It's like a hybrid mattress, which has just the right amount of bounce, award-winning sleep service. I'm telling you, Surface has changed my life with over 20,000 reviews and an average of 4.8 stars. By the way, that's no BS.
Right.
That's amazing. It's quickly becoming the internet's favorite mattress based on Casper, Amazon, and Google reviews. Free shippings, plural. Free shippings and free returns to the U.S. and Canada. And here's the cool thing, where you can try Casper for 100 nights like Rip Van Winkle, risk-free in your own home. If you don't love it, they're going to pick it up and refund you everything.
That's right. It makes it so easy because, you don't want to go to a department store.
No.
You don't want to go to one of these big chains of mattress places. This is the way to get a mattress in the 21st century. And you will love this mattress.
Because you know what happens with mattresses when you go to the store? It is now, in the past, I'm going to say 10 years, turned into and I'm not dissing anybody who sells used cars. My brother did it for years. But that old 1950s mentality of the used car guy, that's what mattress salespeople were like in the stores. It's like high pressure tactics for a super expensive $3,000 to $5,000 mattress that goes bad after X amount of years.
Yes, exactly.
Not Casper. You can get $50 toward any mattress purchase by visiting casper.com/Ru. Use that offer code RU. So I'm telling you, don't waste your time. Run and get one today. Casper.com/RU. Get started now. We love you, Casper.
Now, Tracee Ellis Ross is here. I'm noticing your nails. We talked about nails earlier. And are those acrylics? Are they?
This is my nail.
Those are your. I've never seen real nails.
And they are
before.
actually. That's hilarious. They are actually
for far too long.
That's hilarious. They are actually shorter than usual. I had to bring them down.
My nails,
How
but
do
they have
you
acrylics
make?
on them.
Well, okay, so mine is just I put the gel over.
Yeah.
Gel
And-
polish or hard gel?
It's I don't know.
Is it just the polish, or is it a clear gel that she has to set?
No, I have to go in the thingy in the
Yes,
machine.
but is it?
It's
Great.
a very tasteful
So basically,
nail.
Maho is my nail guru.
Yeah.
She's very judgmental.
Here in Hollywood?
Here in Hollywood. And she will say no. I will say I want to do something, and she'll say no. And I'm like, why? She's like, no. I'm like, okay. What are we doing then?
Are we talking about the shape or the length?
Combination, shape, length, everything. So, like, I have to fight with her sometimes around, like, during the show. She's
They're
like, your
gorgeous.
character
You've
would
got
never have it. So
beautiful nail beds.
I have another trick for you. You ready?
Yeah.
I don't have beautiful nail
But do you
beds.
notice what she's wearing? What color is she wearing?
She's
I'm
a
wearing
nude.
white.
She's wearing a
Oh,
nude.
the color polish. So here, let me tell you how I come up with my colors.
Okay. I'm a fan of a nude nail for elongating hair.
You would never
Yes.
know it from the.
Just because I went to Maui, I wanted tropical nails.
That's fantastic.
I went to
There
Hawaii.
is an app on the phone
Yeah.
for Pantone. You know how you go by your paint
Yeah,
chip?
yeah,
Color
yeah,
scale.
yeah.
Let me tell you something. What I do is, so her gel is made out of honey, so it's organic, and that's the reason my nails got so long. You can take a picture of anything like this.
Uh-huh.
Let's see.
Yeah.
And it will give
Tell you what color it
the
is.
colors. And
Wait,
so then,
this is a Pantone app?
Pantone as in full-on paint chips if you want to paint your wall. But what I do is I will be like, I want my nails to look like that wood wall.
Yeah.
I'll take a picture, take it, and I bring it to Maho, and Maho will mix the color of that color.
You are kidding me.
She can mix colors.
She mixes, and
She's a
she is-
mixologist?
and she has such good sense of color. Like I do not, and so I'll say to her, "I think it's too pink." She's like, "No, it's not too pink. It's too red or whatever." And she makes the colors. So
How long have you been with Maho?
Maho's been doing my nails for like 3 years.
Oh, okay.
She used to be in a shop, and then she got pregnant, and so now we just work one-on-one.
Oh, you go to her house. She comes to yours. That's
for you.
fabulous.
So diva.
With the little,
Good for
she
you.
comes with the little blue light thing.
She
with the-
comes with her whole scenario,
thing is
and
there.
we sit there in front of the TV.
Yeah.
I
Good.
watch a little TV, and she does my nails. It's actually fun. She'll come late at night when I'm working and stuff, because I have to map it out. So we do nails like Friday, Saturday, or Sunday night, so that I'm never changing nail color mid-episode.
But you have to keep them subdued, kind of, don't you?
I don't really care, but that's
Yeah.
what she's always telling me. She's like, "You can't do that for the show,"
The director
and I'm
don't
like,
say anything, you don't get.
Yeah.
Oh, you
and I'm
want
like, "Yeah, I can." She's
Right.
like, "No."
Yeah. So now, so you're talking about the show, talking about Blackish. You work with all these
Fabulous.
Oh my
Can we
God.
talk about Jennifer Lewis? Should we talk about
Can we
Jennifer?
talk Jennifer Lewis?
Okay, let me tell you what Jennifer told me.
Tandra, bring me a double.
Okay, so Jennifer, I was having like a rough week, like a blue
She was
week.
on Girlfriends.
Yeah.
Whose
She
mother
played
did
Tony's mom.
Tony's mom.
Yeah.
That's right.
So Jennifer, she played everyone's mom. She's like
she's
epic.
the mother of Hollywood.
She's so
Yes.
epic.
She is.
Yeah.
Okay. Jennifer, I was like having a rough day once, like couldn't stop crying for some reason. I don't know, maybe the hormones were out of whack.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, Jennifer was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Just please leave me alone."
Uh-huh.
She was like, "You know what you do when you don't feel good?" And I was like, "What?" She said, "Say Jennifer Lewis 3 times in a row."
Shut
She
up.
said, "You will snap out of it." And I was like, "Jennifer, stop it." And she was like, "Do it with me." And I was like, "Oh my God, this is the worst." She goes, "Comma,
Uh-huh.
Jennifer Lewis, Jennifer Lewis, Jennifer Lewis." And I was like, "All right, I actually do feel better." I'm not gonna lie. So everybody out there, just know
Yes.
if you are having a rough day, if the chemicals are moving you in the direction of tears,
Yeah.
Jennifer Lewis 3 times in a row.
I
Your shit will
love
change
that.
up in a second.
That is
Hilarious.
brilliant.
Yeah.
So funny.
I just tweeted the other day about Lawrence Fishburne, who has been in this business since he was 10 years old.
Yeah, he's not
I
talented
see.
at all.
No, not at all. No, and he's not lucky either.
You know what's weird? He pulls our show down. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, we would be an incredible show, but Lawrence,
Damn Lawrence
I'm
Fishburne.
telling you,
Dead
he
weight.
really, it's
Dead
dead weight.
weight, yeah.
And Anthony, I get tired sometimes pulling him so.
Yeah. So much talent on there. It's
And
the
crazy.
kids.
And the
Let's
kids.
just talk about
Let's
those
talk about
chitlins,
those
shall
children.
we?
Yes.
Okay, let's start with Marcus.
Yeah.
Who Junior? He plays Junior.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he is a comedic god.
Yeah.
It's
Hilarious.
in the making, and it is only getting better, and I can't get enough of that child.
Wow.
And he's also like a bean sprout. I don't even know what I'm going to see when we go back to work next
Yeah.
week.
That's what
because,
happens. Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Then Yara Shahidi, who is like on her way to Harvard and just heaven on wheels. Smartest little thing you ever saw in your life, and not so ugly either. You know what I mean? That girl's really got to work on her face. I mean, she's freaking gorgeous. It's like ridiculous.
Beauty.
I'm like, oh, look at that. Look at that face.
Yeah.
I love you. My God. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Miles, who plays Jack,
Mm-hmm.
that cute little muffin who dances up a storm and is like, I don't know, it's been amazing watching them grow,
Yeah.
both in their talent and as human beings. It's been very, very special. So Miles,
Did you get a say in who was
no.
cast at all?
I'm not a producer on the show. I auditioned myself.
Yeah.
And so, no, it was a blessing and a gift.
And it just worked.
Yeah. And then Marseille, who is like, come on.
Yeah.
It works or it works. Or, you know what I mean?
It works or it doesn't. Right. And at what point in the run did you think, oh my goodness, this is actually going to work?
You know what? You never know. You don't. And I really thank ABC Studio and Network because it takes so much to make a television show work in this day and age. There are so many networks. There's online. There's so much. So in order to break through and for people to know where to find you, for there to be an effort of messaging so that people know what they're going to find, it requires the entire machine. And I think our show is incredibly written. The writers are exceptional on our show. Kenya Barris, who is the creator of our show, has a really singular vision of what this show is, and that makes it amazing. And then you put the cast. So it's a collaborative art that has really worked with all these pieces, and the studio and the network advertising our show properly, putting us on at the time slot that we were in, all of those things made a huge difference.
It's amazing. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful show.
I really feel very proud of it. I feel proud to have brought family television back to TV, that you can watch it with your kids or with your parents for that matter. The fact that we are diving into, and the writers have the courage to dive into subject matter that is often, you know, taboo or frightening for people, but that we're busy taking things off the wallpaper of our lives that we kind of take for granted, but also at the same time all of us are chomping on and trying to make sense of. And they look at it or unpack it in this way that's not about telling people the right way to look at the N-word or gun control or police brutality, but it's sort of like we get to share it through this family and offer people jumping off points for conversation so that we can be in dialogue, which is so much of what I think our country needs right now.
Yes.
I also think that within the context of the Johnson family, there are so many different kinds of points of view. But what happens in every episode is that some sort of limited or stereotypical or whatever that is point of view sort of gets put forward. And then lovingly, it gets worked through the family. So it's like people can have differing opinions and still love each other. People can be different and still love each other. People can be different and still have relationship and be in relationship with each other. And I think that's something that's like people are so afraid of that. Do you remember when Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver were together and how it was just like, how is that possible for like a Republican and a Democrat to love each other?
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Yeah.
You know, like you can have differing opinions and still be kind, loving, and in love with somebody. And we can do that in a friendship way. We can do that in a life way with each other. And there's a way to respect each other's boundaries and still be different.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now we're going to wrap it up, but I have just one question for me. It's going to be about Mama. Okay.
Okay, fine. And then I have one question about your aging secrets. All right. So we're not ending without jumping back to your skin.
All right. Okay. So now I think every time I've interviewed you, I ask the same thing, which is, are you able to intellectualize why your mother, Diana Ross, has such star quality. And have you seen all of the footage of her that I've seen?
Well, I'm sure you've seen more.
100%.
I am sure of that. But I think you could probably answer it differently than me, and that you probably have a very good answer that I would want to hear. I'm serious.
Yeah, I do.
I think you do. But you know, you have logged many hours in the footage, and you've obviously seen her in person many a time.
Hundreds of times.
But I have actually lived in proximity from her and came from her vagina.
Yes, you did.
Lucky you.
Yes.
Right out of it.
Right out of there.
Boom, boom, boom.
Whoop, boop. Hi, everybody.
Hi, let's go shopping. Oh my God, I think my mom's gonna kill me for saying that. That was so disrespectful. I apologize, Mom, and everybody who had to hear that. I came from her womb, okay?
Yes, you did. Yes.
All right, like that was just rude. Oh my God, I'm such an idiot. Okay, so.
But you can intellectualize it.
I don't know that I would intellectualize it. I would emotionalize it and say that from my close vantage point of knowing this woman for 44 years and even a little before that because I was in her body.
Gestation.
I think that there is a sense of self and a courage of self that she has that to me transcended time and transcended circumstance, that I sometimes don't even understand where the well is that she draws from, you know, and it clearly is a higher power well, because I look at, she was weed whacking through the jungle.
Sure, right.
It didn't exist.
Right.
Like I even asked one day, I was like, but seriously though, what made you think you can wear your hair like that? Like, what the hell made you think that you would just wear a fur coat and that snuggy little hat to the theater?
Yeah.
Like, where did you get that? And I don't know that she even has an answer. I look at her siblings. They're all extraordinary. Yeah. They're wonderful. But
right.
Where did this come from?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it really blows my mind sometimes.
Otherworldly.
It is otherworldly.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, I get lost in rabbit holes. The other morning, I got lost in a rabbit hole trying to find a particular picture of me and then forgot about the picture I was trying to find of me because I got lost down a Diana Ross rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, seriously, woman?
Yeah.
Seriously? And then I will find myself like thinking I'm coming up with some like really great new look. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
It's a reference.
It's a reference.
It's clearly a
Do
reference.
you listen to the music? Do you know the whole catalog?
Pretty much.
You do?
I do.
Do you listen to the albums? Like, what was the last Diana Ross song you heard?
Well, I go to her shows all the time, and I really, like, you've experienced it. You should never go to one of my mom's shows next to her children. You won't hear a word she says.
Oh, that's amazing.
You won't hear Diana Ross sing. You will hear some kids singing.
Yeah.
So I think and I'll sing every word. I love every word of all of her songs. I'll discover new things. But like, I remember maybe like 5 years ago when I heard It's My House and I was like, this is some nasty shit. I was like, what is this? What is this sexy little metaphor song? And my mom does that thing she does whenever she's in my chair. I put it there and she does that thing. I'm like, what was she doing? I'm like, So I do. I listen to her music, but I don't listen to it on a regular basis. Yeah. You know, it's not like I'll play it in the car sometimes. That's a lie.
Right.
It's not in my playlist I give for photo shoots.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because you know, I have an iPod in the car that is that's on shuffle, and I have so much Diana Ross music, and I hear probably in an average day 20 songs.
Really? Well, let me say this. I get my eyebrows done with Damone.
Yeah.
And I hear most of my Diana Ross songs there.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
When I go see Damone, I usually hear some Mom.
Yeah. I'm just trying to wrap my head around being in such close proximity to someone who is beyond icon. It's just it's part of the American fabric. Obviously it's international, but it is such an American phenomenon, and I don't know if it's possible for the sibling of someone who's this has happened to actually really understand what a phenomenon it is.
Did you mean daughter or you meant sibling? Oh, you said sibling. You meant daughter.
I meant daughter.
Okay,
I meant daughter. Yes.
I was like, is he talking about someone else? I wanted to make sure.
No,
okay.
no, I meant daughter.
I don't know, but you know, I don't know. I don't know that that's something one needs to intellectualize.
No, it doesn't. No.
But I am very aware, like the further and deeper I get into my own career, I am so aware of what it takes to hold a career.
Yes.
To be in the position of your dreams happening and all of that. And, you know, they say dream big, but no one tells you you're the one that's going to pull it up the hill.
Right.
Like nobody tells you that. So,
yes.
And someone like my mom, I feel, made it all look so effortless, even in close proximity with her child.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's not. It's not easy.
No, it's
not. This isn't. I mean, my mom used to record while we were sleeping. That's when she would do her recording, so she could wake us up for school in the morning, and she would sleep then when we went to school. And that, you know what I mean? Like,
she's pregnant with you during the Diana and Marvin album.
Oh, I didn't know that fact.
Yeah. In fact, the fact
I was in her belly during Mahogany.
Yeah, during Mahogany, and for the Diana and Marvin album. Apparently, Marvin was smoking a lot of weed, and because she was pregnant, she's like, you know what? We're gonna have to record this separately. And they recorded the songs separately because you were in her stomach. So maybe that's where your comedy comes from.
That you maybe. It's so funny because I have never smoked pot in my life and can't be around it. I'm like, maybe I'm like my mommy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I've never been around. I can't be around it. And I said to someone recently, he was like, why? And I said, I don't like the way I feel. It gives me this weird headache. And he was like, you sound like you get high. And I was like, oh, well, I don't like that feeling.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I don't like that feeling.
Yeah. And isn't that funny that story? But
That's so interesting.
We're going to close, but do you have...
Do we have to?
We don't.
Should we do a double episode?
I'd love to. Do you have a favorite Diana Ross song or top three? I'll give you time to think. I'll tell you mine first.
Okay.
Diana Ross or
solo?
Supremes?
I'm talking solo Diana. My favorite solo Diana. Number one would probably be Experience from the Bee Gees album.
Okay, can you give me a little bit of that song so I know?
I can play it on my phone.
Let's do that, shall we?
Let's see.
I'll give you one while you do that.
Look, this has been my phone saver.
Stop it right
for,
now.
No joke.
No, it's been probably 20. I don't know, as long as I've had a phone or something.
Ease on Down the Road is one of my favorites.
Really? From The Wiz.
Love that song.
With Michael Jackson.
It literally makes my body jump up and down with joy.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I also love her best album is actually the Boss album.
I'll agree with that.
Ashford and Simpson's
just killed it.
Brilliant.
The Boss, the song.
Yeah,
the Boss, the song,
it's
the
a
whole
really
album.
good song.
Great.
I also really love the Land Before Time song.
Oh yeah, If We Hold On Together.
That is a
Yes.
beautiful song.
So my favorites are I Ain't Been Licked.
Oh,
Experience.
Is that from that song?
That's
Can
from
you
the
play
Boss.
Experience though? Because for some reason I can't think of how that sounds.
Experience here for
But
a
I Ain't
second.
Licked. Oh, I ain't been licked.
Oh, so good.
I ain't been licked. No.
Oh, there's a YouTube video of her in Vegas doing I Ain't Been Licked, and I post it every 6 months. It is so it makes me cry, actually, because the
First of all,
conviction.
am I not following you? I really need to get on it. What's wrong with me?
You get a lot of mom.
That's
you
okay.
get a lot of mom.
Of
Yeah.
course
This
it's
is
okay.
Here we go.
Experience with the Bee Gees.
Oh, it's so Bee Gees.
That voice is
Oh,
unmistakable.
the tone.
I know this song.
You know this song.
I know this song.
Oh, it was, I think.
Well, you can't forget I Want Muscle.
Yes, that's a Michael
that's a
Jackson
good
song.
one, yeah.
The thing is, the Experience, I think, may have been the third or fourth single off of the Eaten Alive album. The
You're
third
killing
or
me right now.
fourth.
Eaten Alive, another great.
Great. It's
great
good.
one.
Michael Jackson, the Bee Gees.
What's the Marvin Gaye song? Missing You.
Missing You.
One of
Yeah.
my favorites.
Yeah.
Yes. So good. Okay, we're gonna wrap it. I can do
it's
this.
quite a catalog.
It's a
By the way, and
brilliant-
it spans 3 decades.
I mean.
Oh no, more than that. Because it started.
But as Diana Ross solo, I think it's 3 decades.
Oh yes, definitely yes.
So, but that's insane. It's like 5 or 4 decades that the hits span, which blows my noodle.
blows your noodle. But let me just say one thing before we close. You know, I have a friend who works at Motown Universal in New York, and he is the gatekeeper of all of the tapes, the actual acetate tapes
Wow.
that these kids in Detroit recorded on. And he said, okay, we can go in the studio and we can dissect any one song you want to do. I said, okay, and I'd be very careful and strategic about this. I said, okay, bring in You Keep Me Hanging On. Bring in You Keep Me Hanging On. So we went in there. He separated all the tracks, and I wanted to find out like the question I asked you about, being this daughter of, I wanted to find out where the magic was. Where at what point?
And can you?
Yes, you can. It's in every aspect of the song. Every aspect. Let me just break down her performance, and let me just calm down for a second.
He's killing me right now.
It's your mother.
Okay, and You Keep Me Hanging On, even when I was a kid, I remember hearing it and thinking, I know there's a double voice there, but why are they not matching up? Why are the voices not matching up? They're two different performances. So he told me the Supremes, they recorded You Keep Me Hanging On once in a lower key. They didn't like it. So the girls came back from tour to re-record it in a higher key. Diana was hoarse from being on tour, so she sang the lead twice. They decided to use both leads, different performances,
And put them together.
and put them together. That's why when she says, and there ain't nothing I can do about it, it doesn't match up. You can hear the edits. You can go, But when you dissect the voice and you separate the voice on its own, listen, the drums are magic, the guitars, everything's magic. You put her voice solo. The urgency that she sings it with, the conviction, the tone of her voice, her relationship to the material and understanding what it's saying is where the magic happens.
Okay, first of all, I mean, we're seriously going to obviously go over and whatever, but we're going to keep talking anyway, because I have a question for you. So to watch you talk about it, you light up, right? You even said you had to calm down. So what in your life, because this is a love affair that has gone on for a while, but it's clearly there's a magic of you, right? Your magic. So how did watching, pulling apart, discovering, chomping on all of that, what did that give you that gave you the courage to be you?
Yes.
Because obviously it was not just my mom. There was, you know what I mean? There's other people that have influenced you and all of that. Like I have my versions of the people, like the greats that and it's not that I was looking to absorb them. I think I was always looking, like if I think of the way I watched Carol Burnett growing up, there was like, it's like I was like looking for what gave her the courage to be that. Like, where does that come from? You know what I mean? I think
the fearlessness.
It's the same question that I asked my mom. And like, if you ask them, it wasn't fearless because they were afraid, but they did it anyway. So, but like, I watched that, and then it's like, oh, there's that thing that I want. So I don't want what they have. I want my version of that. Right. And so the reason I'm intrigued and then I'm asking you the question is I find that it's something that I want to pass on to a younger generation or other people. Like, look there, not as a place to imitate, but as a place to inspire, right? Because there's so much to learn from those people, and they had people they learned from, or maybe they didn't, or whatever that is. So what do you think it is that it gave you courage to be?
I know exactly the answer to this question. What it is, we are all God in drag. We are looking for the clues to remind us who we really, really, really are. And I remember seeing Diana Ross and the Supremes they were the Supremes then, on the Ed Sullivan Show, and seeing they were all fabulous girls, but the girl in the middle,
there was something.
It was more than something. All the things I described before, the excitement about being there, the relationship to the material, those were that was the evidence of God in my life. The God being whatever that thing is. I don't know what it is. I'm just using the word God. It's the evidence. I'm seeing myself. I'm seeing the source. I'm seeing the source. And that fearlessness, of course, God, whatever the thing is, has no fear. It just is. And so when I would hear the music or see the songs or just watch the performance, that is a mirror to myself. And I've said this.
I think that's part of what happens, though, is you watch it and you feel free.
You absolutely, you recognize yourself.
Yes, I get chills.
You recognize yourself.
That is what happens. And there are people for example, I think of Michael Jordan. It's random, but I don't really watch basketball. I don't really watch sports, but even you can watch a game and literally be like, what the fuck is happening right there?
Yes, exactly.
And it just makes you feel alive. And you're like, that's it.
It's you recognize yourself. You recognize your own greatness. I mean,
you recognize your own greatness.
You don't see it often, but when you see it.
When you see it. And same with Michael Jackson. I just saw the Motown 25 on TV the other night. And when he does the thing, you see it happen. You see the magic. And
but you saw it happen when he was a little boy in that
Yes,
old footage.
you
You literally, it's like, do you remember that video with the Jackson 5 when they throw the glitter? What was that?
Oh, can you feel it? Yeah.
Right. When that glitter goes, and I feel like that's what happens.
Uh-huh.
Because it's the glitter that they're gotten from God or whatever
Yeah.
it is, but then they toss that glitter and then you get covered in
That's
glitter.
right.
Right.
That's
And
right.
it's like, I was raised to believe there's enough sun for everybody and there's enough glitter to share with all of
right,
us
right.
because it's endless.
It's
but
endless Verrazano pie. It's
that
not
is
just.
Verrazano.
It's
Full
a Verrazano
circle.
pie.
Full circle
There's-
Verrazano.
It's not just if you get a slice. That doesn't mean it's less for you. There's
No,
pie for
There's
everyone.
pie. There's Verrazano pie for everybody.
And I'm in for that. 2, please. And butterberry cake.
And
to
butterberry
follow.
cake. That's
I
right.
loved talking with the two of you.
Yes.
We
yes.
love having you.
So
So
good.
exciting.
Thank you.
I'm so
Such
glad
a
I got in
great-
that parking spot, guys.
Such
Same.
a great career.
Now
I
to
mean,
get
and the
out.
fact that there, it didn't look like there was a blip, but you're saying there was a lull. The fact that you had the lull in between Girlfriends in this means that
I got
It's-
to become a woman during
you got
those
to
years.
become a woman and you got to become a legend.
Oh,
in
please, that is
in
really
this time.
awkward.
Because you have sustained a career that doesn't happen. That's not normal. You realize
I
to go
appreciate
from a hit show like that to this, and this show's going to be around forever.
I really
Forever.
appreciate that. Well,
Good for you.
Good for you. Tracee Ellis Ross, thank you so much.
it was lovely sitting
Thank
with
you,
the two of
darling.
you.
Give
Thank
my
you.
love to your lovely mother.
I'm gonna tell my mom you say hi.
She'll be very happy.
She'll be so happy. She'll say, "How's he doing?" Yeah.
How long is she on tour for?
I don't know, but it's a long time.
Yeah.
Feels
Oh my
too long,
God.
but she's magic on stage.
She's magic.
It's bizarre.
Thank you so much.
you.
Michelle, until next time, my dear.
Yes, baby.
Bye.
Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes.
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Amen.